Welcome to Family Awareness Talk Show. In this episode, we will try to answer as many questions as we can about food safety and the risks when the foods we have isn't safe. Thus, we will have Nour Harkous with us. Nour Harkous is ISO editor, microbiology and food safety expert. She manages projects for companies that are related to food safety, ISO franchise and marketing, founder of FNH Food Safety Hub in Lebanon. Nour Harkous, we are glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
I was just reading these titles at a younger age that you have didn't miss any moment of your life to commit it to the benefits of the community, especially food safety. So you have to tell us what food safety is.
Well, hello, Professor Michael. Thank you for having me. Food safety is a large term, but speaking about food safety nowadays and about the practices that we should take into consideration, food safety is about a set of practices that eliminate the foodborne illness and dangerous disease that can be in the food products and that can be stuck to the surfaces that we use when we process or have food interaction.
That's good. You know, when I'm buying foods,
yes,
and I bring it to the house.
Yes.
So, and then I eat it. And sometimes I have some extra food. I have to put it back in the fridge. How can I do this process in order to make this food safe?
Well, regarding food safety and vegetables, there is a vegetable procedure of how to immerse and how to clean the vegetables and how to handle it in the fridge. And temperature and time frames at the fridge varies between fruits and between vegetables. For example, cucumber can stay at the fridge after using it for 2 to 3 days, while potatoes can stay more. And you can see in the pictures a table showing each and every fruit and vegetable, showing the time frame that can stay at the fridge. And also there are fruits that should not be at the fridge, like mango, for example, because there is a gaseous hormone called ethylene, and this hormone interacts fast with temperature, and the more fruits and vegetables are cooled or freezed or refrigerated, the more this ethylene will, because it's a gaseous structured hormone, it will cause the food to ripen, the fruits and vegetables to ripen more fast.
You know, some people think that if I bring the food, I take the bags and put them in a bowl and then put them in the fridge. And they put some other foods in the freezer. So are they doing the right thing, or they should wash the fruits and the vegetables? And what are the process of washing the fruits and the vegetables before we take them to the fridge?
Okay. So regarding food safety practices, food safety does not rely only on washing products and putting it directly to the fridge. As per WHO regulations, in 1990s they set the golden rule, but it was too complex for a human not so educated in food safety. So a year after, they introduced the 5 keys for food safety. And these keys start with cleaning fruits, vegetables, and all the products you want to use to eat, and you have to separate before refrigerating it. So, and you have to separate, there are methods to separate food. For example, you cannot put raw food with cooked food.
You cannot?
No, you have to separate it. And you cannot mix meat, chicken, and fish all together, even if all are cooked. So you have to separate each product. And WHO, FDA, and Codex Alimentarius gave recommendation even of how to store these products in the fridge. They suggest that they start with the cooked food, then to store the vegetables, and then to put the raw and high-risk food in different rows.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be a good classification of food. There should be a great handling of food, separating it, covering it well after cleaning and rinsing.
You know, during COVID-19, people were more meticulous about like buying the vegetables and the fruits, and you know, they are meticulous even for delivery. They
Yes.
stopped asking for delivery.
Yes.
So there are some awareness that's been spread by the government.
Yes.
When I buy the vegetables or the fruits,
Yes.
is it good to wash it with vinegar like many people are doing it nowadays?
Yes, well, vinegar is a great disinfectant chemical to use at home. Even vinegar is used at factories to wash vegetables.
Should be apples vinegar, grapes vinegar, or
It can be any type of vinegar.
it could be any type of vinegar.
Yes,
So
and we also recommend salt with water. But first of all, regarding vegetables, there is a procedure of washing vegetables. We don't recommend, regarding you are bringing vegetables from shops or from your garden, we recommend that you rinse it well first, because vegetables are at higher risk than meat and fish and chicken. Why? Because vegetables won't be cooked, so there should be a higher food safety procedure and cleaning schedule for vegetables. And once you bring vegetables at home, you should consider that there are bacteria, viruses, and other toxins stick to the vegetables because you're taking it from the soil immediately to the house. And there can be also insects that cannot be visual in the naked eye. So that's why it's recommended that you rinse well the vegetables first, and then you wash and add vinegar to the immersion method.
oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
I want to ask you now. You know, people have been like dealing with corona pandemic and trying to preserve the food. But you know, as long as children would go to the school, so parents who used to give money to their children or to buy from the kiosk,
Yes.
and consume the food from kiosk. So the first question, how much this food from the kiosk is safe? The second question is, which is like a very important question and parents should be aware of, when we put the food for our children to have it in the recess time at school, what is the process the parents should follow?
Okay, so regarding going back to school is not going back to normal life.
Yes.
Nowadays, going back to school is much different, and parents should be aware of this. Not only school, so not only the school. So first of all, going back to school now or going back to summer activities should be limited to less interaction, and in order to reduce the transmission of bacteria, viruses like COVID-19. So we recommend that for school and for parents to reduce the interaction between teachers and parents, to reduce interaction between kids. We recommend for schools, for example, to stop the lunch breaks and to increase the washing, the hand washing breaks.
Okay, if they stop the lunch break, where the kids must eat? They must eat in class.
They must eat. They must eat separately, not like the lunch breaks at.
Interesting.
Yes.
Do they have to use a certain box?
At areas where they can interact more. It's better if they let them sit at on separate tables, eat food from home, and continue their break or go back to their classes.
Must
But
they use
it's
certain
not-
box to put the food
Of course.
in? Like for what? What do you
I
recommend?
just want to add one more thing. It's not recommended to buy food from school groceries or small shops because there
That's
will be more interaction of kids. That's why now parents should be aware of how to send food for their kids from home to school. And this is, now we're talking about another procedure because delivering food, okay, should be done under food safety limits. For example, it's better and they should be parents should be careful regarding the type of food that they should send, the temperature of food, the packaging of food. It's recommended that parents don't send sleeky or sticky food, and it's recommended that food sent should not be raw, like raw chicken, like raw fish. It's recommended also to use a safe package, less plastic, go more for stainless steel or go more for cling film and sanita. These kind of packages are safer than others.
Okay, so let's go back about the safety of the boxes and the sanita and the
Cling
plastic. Yes. So if I use the plastic box and put my food in the fridge, in the microwave, what happens?
Plastic boxes are not recommended at all.
Okay, what are the recommended boxes?
And putting plastic under high temperature will make things worse. So it's recommended to use stainless steel, as I said before, and regarding papers, it's recommended to use sanita and cling film instead of papers, because papers are produced out of different molecules and not recommended food safety products.
Going back to these boxes and the plastic and stuff,
Yes.
you know, I hear some parents that when their child drops the food, the burger or the bread, the 3 seconds issue,
This
they
is
can
a
save
myth.
it.
Let's end this. This
Okay,
is a
how can we
myth.
explain to the parents this is unsafe to
It's
pick the food
unsafe.
from the floor and eat it back?
Well, as per WHO, even on human skin, like per each 1 square centimeters, there can be 100,000 of viruses and foodborne molecules. And now we're talking about the skin of human. I'm not talking yet about the surfaces and the floor.
Yes.
Can you imagine if on our skin, we human, that we take into consideration cleaning and disinfecting and all these kind of procedures, there are 100,000 of molecules, viruses, microbes, and others sticked on human surfaces. So dropping something on the floor is full of bacteria. Even if it's 1 second or 2 seconds, there's a high risk of contamination when you drop something on the floor. So it's not recommended at all to eat food that is dropped on the floor,
Especially for
to
kids who have
reduce
low
the
immunity.
risk. Especially those who have low immunity.
Yeah, you know, in Lebanon, the wife works and the husband goes to work.
Yes.
They meet in the evening and they ask for delivery because they don't have time to cook. And many other places around the world, you know, busy people ask for delivery because it's easier for them to have their meal whenever they want to. How much food delivery is safe now during the pandemic worldwide?
Well, honestly, there are shops and factories that take into consideration food safety before COVID-19, And parents now should be aware from where to buy deliveries or request delivery orders. If they are requesting delivery orders from certified shops with the food safety certifications and standards, well, of course, we recommend this instead of working at home and mixing all together the cooked and raw and all kind of products. So sometimes buying food from this kind of places is safer than home, because
really?
yes, because the shops that follow food safety standards, they take into consideration disinfecting the area and following the food safety procedure in order to produce a safe product. So they should not be like meticulous regarding the delivery procedures.
Yes, now moving from food delivery back inside the house, some people buy the red meat and cook it. People like it well done, while others don't like it well done, like half raw. So when it is not well done, that means the blood inside it still has the same same color. How much it is safe to eat half-cooked food, especially meat?
Well, raw cooked or half-cooked food is very risky to eat, because bacteria can contaminate and proliferate and multiply more. Whereas when you cook food at a minimum degree of 70 degrees Celsius as per WHO regulations, you are eliminating the occurrence of hazards. So it's much better to eat cooked products, regardless of the type of product, meat or fish. Chicken should be always cooked.
Should be always cooked, not
100%
half
cooked.
raw.
Yes.
Okay, some people in Lebanon like to eat raw meat.
Yes.
Kibbe is like a famous.
Our Lebanese.
Yes, the cuisine. It's famous you find it in many houses.
Yes.
And people are proud to offer kibbe, especially raw kibbe. How much it is safe to eat raw kibbe, and what are the precautions that we should follow before eating raw kibbe or raw fish?
Well, as we said, raw kibbe is under the category of high-risk food, because it's a kind of food that is not cooked completely. So, and as we said before, raw food can cause more contamination and multiplication of bacteria, and that's why it's better to eat well done or cooked food.
Not to eat raw kibbe, not to eat sushi.
Yes, and I would like to add that it's not healthy to eat meat in general, whether it is half cooked or raw or well done, because meat can cause diabetes, heart diseases. And that's why we recommend to choose alternatives of meat like beans, quinoa, seeds, and others.
Okay, some people cook spinach and mushrooms and other foods.
Yes.
So they cook it, and then they put it back in the fridge. And then later they come the other day and they put it in the microwave or put it in the stove, heat it. Is it safe to eat this kind of food, or it's unsafe?
Well, it is safe for a very short period of time. But I would like to add one thing, that it's not really about safety, this procedure. It's also about the taste. They will lose the taste, they will lose the odor, they will lose the vitamins, the hormones available, and the elements.
Many students who live in the dormitories, they receive foods from their parents, especially in Lebanon.
Yes.
They come from the village and they live inside the university dorms.
Especially cooked.
Especially, they love cooked food because they feel that it's a healthy
food. They can
eat
it immediately also.
They can eat it immediately.
When they come back from their classes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So after heating it up. How long can we preserve this food in the fridge?
Well, cooked food have different longevity and expiration period.
Yes, for
because
example?
after cooking it and leaving it in the air, the more bacteria will come and stick to it, and that's why it's not recommended to keep cooked food for more than 3 to 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, like any kind of food, like for example, if we
Unless
cook meat.
it is cooled or freezed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you cool or freeze the food, you are cooling also the bacteria and the viruses, and you are like stopping the risk of contamination. But when you are putting it out of the fridge or out of the freezer, there is a higher risk of food contamination.
You know, some people, I saw them in the dorms, usually they like fry the potato, you know,
Yes.
all people like French fries,
Yes.
you know, especially students,
Yes.
you know, when the baby is born, the first time they see French fries, they want to
They
prefer,
jump to it.
yeah, they jump to French fries.
Yes.
Some people reheat French fries or refry the French fries.
Mm.
What are the risks they are taking in case they are refrying the French fries?
Well, as I said before, refrying the food or reheating the food that is already well cooked before is not only risky, but it's also less tasty, and and it's less. It reduces the nutrition facts in the products of it.
Okay, at the end of this episode, what are the tips you like to give to the families in order to keep their food safe during the COVID-19?
Well, as per WHO, there are 5 keys. And I would like to highlight these 5 keys because they are very easy to understand, and especially for those who work at home. They can grasp it more easily, and these 5 keys are elementary and they are mandatory in our day-to-day life in order to eliminate foodborne illness like diarrhea and other death diseases. As you know, due to food safety negligence, there is about 1.8 million of deaths in the world as per WHO. So that's why WHO highlights the 5 keys as the number 1 step to do in order to follow a good food safety lifestyle, if you want. Number 1, it is to follow a very good cleaning schedule and disinfection schedule. Nowadays, we should not only depend on cleaning, but we should also use disinfectants. Vinegar can be a disinfectant for vegetables.
Wow.
Okay. Number 2, it is to separate food, as we said before. It is to handle food well, to cover it well, to classify food at the fridge in order to reduce the risk of contamination. And number 3, it is to cook thoroughly at a temperature of minimum 70 degrees Celsius as per WHO regulation. Because when you cook at 70 degrees Celsius for a given time, okay, as per the product, you are reducing the risk of foodborne disease. Okay, and number 4, it is to also take care of temperatures of products, not only when cooked, but also when cooled and when freezed. For example, when you cool potatoes at the fridge, you should be careful that fridge temperature should be between 0 and 5, and it's recommended that we use also thermometers at home in order to make sure that fridge temperature is right, and the digital sensor is giving the right temperature. Temperature of the fridge should not be more than 5 degrees Celsius, and temperature at the freezer
This is very important.
Yes, these numbers are very important because they can affect the quality of the food we eat. So the temperature of freezer should be between -18 and less. okay, minus 18 and minus 22 degrees Celsius. So these are WHO recommendation. And last but not least, it is to use clean water and clean raw materials. And this is very important.
Thank you for the plenty of information that you have given us about food safety. I know this subject is very big, and of course we're going to spare you for other episodes in the second season of Family Awareness Talk Show. Thank you so much for having me with us, and thank you for the time you gave us. Thank you, our beloved viewers. Have a good day.